Okay, good morning. Well, I don't know if it's morning where you are, but it's morning where I am. Happy holidays, yogis. My name is Sophia. I'm going to go over to my mat. We're going to do a little practice today in my living room. And you'll just need like a block or two blocks, and it's a little mini practice. This is the holidays, and a lot of people are going through grief at the holidays. We used to sort of talk about it more metaphorically in these sort of hazy terms about how the holidays are hard for some people. But I think over the past couple of years, we can be a lot more frank now because people know a little bit more about their mental health. And, this is a shitty, shitty time of year for many, many people. I'd say the majority of people have a hard time at Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year, holidays, capitalism, the pressure of it all, buying shit nobody really wants or needs, and the specter of this late stage capitalism bearing down on us as we know we have to stop this. Sometimes this is a shit time if you've lost family members or your special pet. Grief hits differently in different ways, right? So my mum died quite a long time ago now. It took me a full decade to meet the holidays without feeling destroyed. But honestly, after a full decade, it's okay now. But the feeling in the body when my mum passed was like I was also dying. It's a cellular kind of feeling. So, I mean, if you know this feeling, you know this feeling. A few days ago, I lost my very first horse friend, Mickey, RIP to my darling unicorn. This feeling is different. I have so much experience with grief now. I understand what's happening, and I truly am in a place of peace and joy for Mickey and for P22, our beautiful mountain lion who transitioned to paradise as well this week. They are free, and we can learn on the mat how to not hold on tightly to things. Holding on really hurts. Letting go, knowing that there is no more suffering for that soul, and so on and so forth. But that does not diminish just feeling really sad at Christmas because it's like lonely and there's all these expectations. And anywho, I hope that you get what I'm saying. I know that you do. We're going to move through a little mini practice. I'm going to turn my heater back on. Got the door open because I know that I start getting warm really fast. This is another thing, right? Like if you're a woman, maybe you're going through perimenopause or menopause or your period. Not necessarily a woman. You could just be like an ovary haver. Maybe you have to go hang out with your family who don't accept your sexuality or the choices that you've made. All of this stuff contributes to like not the most wonderful time of the year. So let's get started, shall we? We're going to start in a child's pose. If you're feeling tight in your hips, then you can take your knees wide and come forward. I'm feeling a little tight in my lower back. So I'm going to have my knees touching, and then I'm just going to walk my hands forward. And actually, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to put my head down on something. So if you have a block or a cushion, then feel free to do that. Bring your forehead to rest. Start to let your breath come online and just start to move a little bit here. You can rock on your forehead. You can crawl the hands out. You can draw the hips back. Don't pay too much attention to what I'm doing because I have these AirPods in my ears and I have to keep them in there. Got little ear holes. Maybe you pop up onto your fingertips. Just take some time to move here. Rock the forehead. Sink the hips back. Move your hips around and let your breath start to come online. Breathing in, filling up your back. Breathing out and feeling the navel kind of pull in and up. Couple more breaths. Just coaxing the body, easing your way in, and letting things kind of come online. I'm just going to get rid of my pillow for now. Coming up onto the fingertips. And then you're going to walk the hands in a semicircle over to the right so that your torso is aligned with the right knee. Bring the forehead down. Breathe into the left lung. And out. Again, in. And out. Doesn't matter if the head doesn't really touch the ground. Big semicircle over to the left. So we're just making a shape and opening things up. When we are feeling in the throes of grief or stress, sometimes there's a real want to not move. So just take this nice and easy. We're going to open up just like some fluidity in the body. So you just feel a little bit better. Breathe in and out. And then roll the hands back to center. One more breath here, any which way you like. Maybe you sigh it out the mouth. And then a little contraction of your pelvic floor. Sneak your hands back and come all the way up onto your knees. I'll just move so that you can see. But you're just sitting here in Virasana. If it's uncomfy, take a block or a bolster and place it in between your knees. Roll the shoulders out a little bit. Maybe move the flesh of your butt and thighs. Feel the little toenails, press them down. And then close your eyes. Soften the jaw. Get used to being still for a moment. Breathing in. Breathing out. Shoulders soften down the back. Feeling the hips in relation to the armpits. Spread the collarbones. Soften your tongue and just take note of how you feel. So not how you think you should feel, but just where your emotions are today, where there might be tension in the body, aches and pains. Maybe the body feels super unsymmetrical. Maybe your heart and soul are screaming, whatever it is. Just notice how it feels in the body. So don't get too caught up in a story here. You're just letting there be more of a visceral response as you just check in, breathing in, breathing out. And then interlace your hands in front of you, press the palms away, pull your tummy in, chin to your chest, and just move a little bit side to side so that you're getting a nice stretch across the upper back. And then on an inhale, take your arms up and then just release the hands all the way down. Interlace your hands behind you, pull the knuckles back, tick-tock a little bit side to side, open up the chest. If it feels good, you can look up. And release. Again, interlace your hands so the other thumb is on top. Press the palms away. Wiggle a little side to side. Oh, let your neck go. Push away. And then on your next inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Stay for the exhale, draw the shoulders down the back. And if it feels okay for you, you can bend into the elbows and circle here. If this is a little bit too much, just bring the arms down and maybe circle them up and over your head a couple of times. I'm just doing this to unlock my shoulders, but it's a little intense. So if you're not down for this, we're only here for one more breath. Release the hands and bring them all the way down. Then just give your hands a little shake. And then if you're not comfortable sitting here in Virasana, you can get rid of the block and come sit in a comfy cross-leg position. We're just going to give the neck a little bit of love. One leg in front of the other. You can also stay in Virasana if that feels good. Roll the shoulders out. And then just drop the chin to the chest and give your head a little waggle. Keep the integrity of your spine nice and long, and then roll the right ear over to the right shoulder, chin to your chest, left ear to left shoulder. So we're just exploring, oh, the movement in the neck. So keep it going, keep your breath moving. If it feels good, you can start to see what it feels like to go all the way around. Go nice and slow. If that doesn't work for your body today, then continue to make your little half circles. And we'll just spend a little time here unlocking the neck, the Panama Canal between the brain and the body. Soften the jaw, your teeth, your gums, your lips. Keep the breath moving and just keep coming back. So when you start to think, bring yourself back kindly with love. And we'll just go for like 5 more breaths. So if you haven't started going in one direction and you need to even it out, do that. Oh, 2 and 1. Bring your head up to center, crawl the right fingertips out to the side, and then drop the left ear to the left shoulder. You should feel a stretch along the side of the neck. If you don't, you can walk the hand around. You can reach it out. Imagine you pressing a wall away if you want. Ooh, more extreme feeling. And then from here, you're just going to look down towards the armpit and then bring the ear back to the shoulder. Towards the armpit, ear back to the shoulder. 1 more time. And then bring your head up to center. Crawl the left fingertips out. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Notice how that feels. Walk the fingers around until you feel a stretch. Could be different, right? On the side. Drop the nose towards the armpit, bringing the stretch along the back of the neck. Ear back to your shoulder. Couple more like this. We're just exploring and making some rivers in the body for stuff to start to flow. So we're undamming. Come all the way up to center, roll the shoulders out, and how sweep the arms up. Connect your palms. Exhale, hands to your chest, and then you can bow your chin if you like, maybe set a little intention or a dedication. Release your hands onto your knees, and we'll start to Sufi roll, stirring it up. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, round it. And I'm going to get rid of my little pillow. I want to be lower. So we're just moving the chest over the femurs, unlocking the lower back, bringing some fluid motion into the lower body. So again, notice how you feel. You can be pretty dramatic at home. You can moan and groan, and let a tear fall if need be. Fluttering the lips is nice too. Absolutely no rules for any of this practice. Take it or leave it. For 2, for 1, and then come to center. Bring your hands behind you, palms down, fingers forward, and then just press down, lift the chest. So you're creating a lift all the way up the front of the body. Breathe in, puff out the chest as you exhale. Stay here, draw the navel into the spine. 1 more breath like this, getting a little heart opening. And then you're just going to switch the crossing of the legs, hands on your knees, swirling the other way. Hands on your knees. You're Megan the Stallion, you're shaking your ass on your thought shit, but not today. Ooh, not for us. So if you're feeling sad and lonely, just know you're not alone. Maybe you're going to be alone, and that's something that you have to come to terms with. But everybody hurts. If you get to be any kind of certain age, you're going to lose. You're going to lose loves. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose your dreams. We must learn to move gracefully through this for ourselves, right? Not for anybody else, because we're responsible for ourselves. Nobody's going to come and save us, unfortunately. But, you know, self-love is the most beautiful kind of love, and it allows space to really be compassionate and love others and grieve others in a really authentic, courageous way. Come all the way up to center. Give your hands a little shake, and then make little claws out of your hands, or just take a little tap through the heart. So you're tapping along your sternum, breathe in your nose, out your mouth. Again, in, out. Last time, in and out. And then from here, I'm gonna put my other leg in front. You don't have to if you're comfy where you are. And you're going to reach behind you with your, no, sorry, grab a block, bring it in front of you. And then reach behind you. And with your left wrist, you're going to grab, with your left hand, you're going to grab your right wrist. And then you're going to draw the hands down, gather yourself, breathe in, look up. And then as you exhale, pull back with your hands and just let your head come to rest on a block. You may come all the way down to the ground if you like. You can drop the block down to a lower setting. Rock on the forehead. We'll be still here for 3. Follow your exhale all the way out for 2. And 1. All the air out. And then draw the hands back, navel to spine. Lift yourself up to your seat. Release your hands. And let's meet in the tabletop position. So coming onto all fours, have your blocks nearby. Wrists can be under the shoulders, knees under your hips, but if that doesn't really feel perfect today, then whatever. Start to wag your tail. Take a little circle with your head, and then go the other way. And then from here, we'll move through some cat-cows. So any way you like it. As you inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts, look up. Exhale, round into your chest, press the ground away, and just start to move it, move it. Keep going. Open the chest. Push the ground away, dome the spine. For 3, 2, and 1. And then turn your middle finger back to face your knee, so the wrist faces forward. Start to make some circles around your wrist. You can peel the hand off the ground if you like, flushing out the wrist joints, and then go the other way. Let your butt and your hips move as well. And then come to center. Let's switch sides. Flip the other wrist back, move forward. Oh, feels like the heart's kind of pressing more forward on the ribs. Start to swirl. Let your head go. And then the other way, sweeping yourself around in a circle. Nice. And then turn the hand back, tuck your toes. And this is where you can use your blocks. So, you know, you can be really aggressive and not use anything, but this is a loving, caring self-care practice. I'm just going to circle out my feet and then come to sit back on the heels using the blocks. Move forward and back. If you feel like really jazzy, then you can sit back on your heels and take your hands up, but that's not where I'm at today. And I want to be really careful of an injury in my foot already. Cool. Undo your feet. And then we're going to come up like on the tops of the feet. So I'm going to bring my blocks alongside the body. So I have a little bit of leverage. And it's going to come up and down, getting into the fronts of the feet. This could be pretty intense. For 2, for 1. Good. Come back onto all fours. And then just stick your left leg out to the side and start to move back and forward, opening up the inner thigh, and then bend into the knee and start to make some swirly circles here. Again, you can play, you can come up onto your heel, whatever feels good. Just make kind of a big movement. You can pop up onto your fingertips, let your head go in a big circle. Ooh, nice. And then come to center. We're going to pick up the leg and cross it behind the other knee. So your legs are crossed, you're in all fours, and you're just going to spin your hips toward the right. Squeezing the thighs might give you another little stretch in the lower back. For 2. Breath is central. For 1. Nice. And then undo your legs. If you want, you can tap your feet out. I'm not going to because my dog will go completely insane and then we will have other things to grieve about. Stick your other leg out. Start to move forward and back. So another thing that you can do for yourself, if you have a little bit of money, who's got that? Buy yourself something. Bend into the knee, start to swirl. Just get yourself something nice. Maybe you just chuck somebody off the Christmas list. I mean, do you really need to give everybody a present? Oh, probably. Lots of people pleasers out there. Hey, if they don't love you because you don't get them a present, they don't love you. For 2, 1. And then same thing, pick up the leg, tuck it behind your left, separate your feet, and then start to swirl to the left. You can imagine you have a little torch on your tailbone and you're making circles. Go the other way. Stake out the head. If there's a little tension in the neck, you can also swirl your head around. For 1. Nice. Undo your legs again. Maybe you tap out the feet. And then from here, we're going to bring it into a puppy pose. So you're going to keep your butt high. And you're going to crawl your hands to the top corners of the mat. Bring your forehead down. Press forward and down through your hands. Lift the armpits away from the earth. And as you exhale, draw the navel into the spine. If you have tons of mobility, you might want to bring your chin onto the mat and look forward. But again, that's pretty aggressive. You're here for 2. 1. Draw up on the pelvic floor and the navel. Come back to all fours. And then from here, we're going to take it through a plank and then to an upward facing dog. So if you want to linger in your plank for a moment and move forward and back while I take a sip of my water, you can do that. And then you can lift your hips up and back to a down dog. Move it around in downward facing dog. And if you want, you can place a block underneath your head so that you actually have 5 points of contact. Move it, move it. Do what you do in your dog. I'm going to drop this block down so it's even lower. And we're here for like 5 more breaths. So you can pedal out your feet. You can move the weight around hand to hand or foot to foot. You can swirl your tail if you like. Really nice. Okay. Glide forward to your plank pose. Drop the right knee. Kickstand the foot. Lift the left arm. Come into a little side plank. If you want a more active side plank, you can lift this knee. Lift the hips away from the ground and then sweep the arm forward and down. Step it back to plank. Little pedal. Move forward through the crown, out through the heels, and then drop the left knee. Kickstand the foot. Take the arm up. Keep the AirPod in. Maybe you lift this left knee if you do it on the first side, or you just take it easy. Swirl out the wrist. And then swim the hand forward and down. All right. We're going to come to a pigeon pose from down dog. So if you know that you need props for your pigeon, have those nearby. And then come up into down dog. Inhale, take the right leg up. Bend and straighten the knee a couple of times. Open up the hip. Let that left heel get really heavy. Breathe in. Straighten the leg. And then bring it underneath your body. Maybe you put something underneath you, right? So any pain in this front knee, take a figure 4 on your back. You can place a block or a bolster underneath you. And then before we come down, we're just going to move a little bit, undulate a little bit, take a little neck circle. If you want some sort of formal undulations, you can move up and down with the breath. And then bring your forehead to rest, either on a prop or on your 2 fists or hands on the ground. And just let everything drop down. Breathe into the outer right hip. Let yourself go inwards. For 3. 2. 1. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Press down to lift the upper body. And then take your time. So just roll onto this right hip so that you're facing sideways on your mat. And this left leg is just out to the side. Place your left arm on the leg and just take the right arm up and give yourself a nice stretch along the side. Ooh. Spiral your spine so that you can peep up underneath the armpit, and then if you want, you can pulse it out a little bit. Keep breathing. Inhale, come all the way up. Place the hand underneath the right shoulder, and then on an inhale, you can lift the hips. Exhale, come down, and we're going to meet again in downward facing dog. So tuck the back toe and just lift up. Pedal it out, shake your head. Open mouth, exhale, stick out your tongue. And then inhaling the left leg high. Push the ground away, bend the left knee. Open the hip. And then I like to find a little bend in the right knee as I sink the right heel down. Square off the hips again. Straighten the left leg, breathe in, and then knee comes underneath the body, left knee on the diagonal, easing your way down, using your props if you need to. Face this way so you can see a little better. Roll out the head. Anything you did on side one, maybe those undulations through the spine. You can toe this right foot back a little bit. Soften the tongue and jaw, and then start to come down. Resting forehead on a block, on the fists or on your hands. Imagine that your shoulders are very broad across the back. Drop your armpits down and just breathe here. Once again, you can just kind of check in and acknowledge how you feel, what you feel, not what you should feel, but just what is true. For 3, 2, soften the face. And 1. At the bottom of this exhale, crawl your way back, bring yourself up, and then you're going to come sit onto that left hip. I'm just going to swing myself around. The right leg is out to the side. You're facing sideways on the mat. Lay your right arm along the leg. Bring the left arm up and over. Oh my God. Maybe a little pulse here is good. Maybe you peek up. Yeah. Life is for the living. So maybe you feel like you are dying, but you're still here. You can still enjoy things. Things may be bittersweet, right? But you're still here. Coming back to your downward facing dog. So just find your way back. And then if you want a little vinyasa, you can take one forward to your plank. I'm going to lower down knees, chest, chin to a crocodile, and then come up to a cobra or an upward dog, downward facing dog, and then come down onto your knees. Sit back on your heels, and then you're just gonna come sit on your butt and bring the soles of your feet together and bring them in kind of close. Butterfly your knees a little bit. Elbows can rest on the legs. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, just come forward any amount. So chin to chest. Feel the trapezius muscles. And then anything that you like here. So I'm just going to rock it out. Let my head go. Breathe into the back. 2, 1. Bring yourself gently back up. Slide the feet away from you further. And then you may want to grab a block and place that on your feet. Same thing again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come forward. So maybe you're just amazing and you can lay your forehead right in that little egg shape in your feet, or you're resting somewhere. You're here for 5. All the air out for 4. 3. 2. 1. Exhale everything out, and then bring the hands back. Start to meander all the way up. And then find a comfortable seat. So I'm going to bring my cushion underneath me. It's a short practice, but we are still going to seal it. So sacred practice, right? For ourselves, for our loved ones, for that which matters. Find a long spine. Breathe in, grow taller as you exhale, breathe out. Soften the tongue down. Tilt the pubic bone forward a little bit. Feel the navel over your pubis, your heart right above that, and your skull floating on top of the spinal column. Soften the palms of the hands, and then let your glutes get a little heavy. The thighs ground down, so you're feeling south. Get heavy in the south. And then come up to the north of the body. And feel the west of your body and the east. Breathing in all directions. Forward, back, up, down, side to side. Note your feelings. Note if you're thinking. Bring yourself back to the physical experience and let whatever flows through you to flow. Do not build a little beaver dam. Let yourself flow. Be brave. On your next inhale, take the arms up and over. Connect the palms above your head. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart in a little prayer. Bow to yourself. Sealing your practice any way that feels authentic to you. May all beings be happy and free. May suffering belong to no one. Namaste, yogis. Take this practice with you through the holiday season. Don't take any shit from people. Honor yourself, love yourself, and give love to those who are serving love. All right. Merry, merry.